What's up, party rental people? Welcome to the Bounce House Bosses podcast, where real party rental business owners share their stories, struggles, and secrets to success. I'm your host, Tariq Al-Khatib with the Vet Hawk, and here's a quick preview of today's episode.
I will tell you, there was a year that I turned off or tried to do my own Google ads. I lost over $200,000 that year.
200,000? Where do you stop buying things that customers ask for? Where do you stop expanding?
Rule of 10. I really wish I had made that decision sooner because there was a lot of lost revenue from me just saying, no, I don't have tents.
All right. Welcome. Today I am joined by none other than the amazing Stacie Chase. Stacie and I have talked a lot. You guys might have seen her. So we're going to try to keep it on time because we both love to talk. But let's jump right in. Stacie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Is this supposed to be like 20 minutes or an hour? Because
this one's an hour. No. You got a full hour. Who the heck?
Did you know I can't do 20 minutes to save my life, Tariq?
We've tried. Who are you and why should people listen to you? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Quick intro.
I have been doing rentals, entertainment, and decor since I was 12 years old. So I have a little bit of knowledge of a lot of things. And I try and bring all of that out for my customers to help them best achieve their events and their parties easily and seamlessly. Why you should listen to me? I don't know. I got pink hair. What do you know why?
Pink hair, don't care. So these balloons behind you, first of all, let's address the elephant in the room. What's going on?
You want to take a walk? Let's take a walk.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this is my showroom. I got like a
this is your place.
This is my place. So I got a little showroom, a little bit of action of like wedding stuff over there. And then we've got balloon columns, and we'll just take I don't know. Am I doing? Wow,
this is so. I've never been to your shop, and this looks like one of those places, like the remodeling places, where you see this is what your kitchen could look like. You got the backsplash and everything. Sheesh.
Yeah, I got a little tree over here that lights up for weddings, wedding juicy stuff. We're redoing the front because we have a video shoot coming up on July 8th, but like. If you were at my front door, you would see that's about 2 months old. That's some stuff we do for Hollywood Flamingo. Like every 2 weeks, we swap out their balloons. These are the old ones. We bring them back and recycle them. Here's a little tiki time section that we've got.
People come here and like sit and take pictures, or you deliver this to people?
They can take pictures. But this is to give them an inspiration of what they can do for their party. So that's got like a little backdrop and balloons and
cool.
Yeah, I know you haven't seen a bounce house yet. I don't have room to put. Well, I do have room to put a bounce house up, but so
yeah,
this is a really big installation. Takes up my whole cargo van. That bag is the size of a cargo van.
So that's how you deliver your balloons. You blow them up and
that one's that's a huge wall. And then here's our in-house tent, so people can see like what a tent size looks like. So we got our tent up in the showroom. It's a clear top.
Is that clear? You actually rent out clear top tents?
Yeah, I have the Berlin clear, and then I have the different size tables and chairs and centerpieces. All there.
So people get to see everything before
they get to see everything. If they come in here to plan, they get to see everything.
Where are your inflatables and tents?
They're in another building. I have a 40,000 square foot warehouse down the road, but like a half a block. It's just the backside of another building.
Okay, we'll have to do that in another video.
Yeah, that would be another tour.
Another tour.
That was a lot more walking. This is the small building.
Are most of your customers walk-ins, or do you do mostly over the phone or online?
I would tell you my walk-in business is only about 3 to 5% of what I do.
So why do all this?
A lot of people talk to me on the phone, and then if they're the kind of person that needs to try and touch, feel, and see, they will come after they put in their order, touch, feel, and see, and make sure they're getting what their expectation is. It's very helpful for the people that need to make tactile decisions. So if you think back to when Amazon was first selling stuff, people would go to Best Buy and check it out and then go to Amazon for the better price, which, so that was, unfortunately shot brick and mortar in the foot, because brick and mortar would carry the same thing and they had to start doing that. Oh, we'll match the price online. It doesn't apply to me, but the concept of the fact that they want to see a chair, like everybody who walks in, I say to them, sit down in them. That's why they're there. you're going to figure out what one your bottom likes best. And so sometimes their budget is $1.85, but their bottom likes the $2.35 chair. So they'll make that decision.
Why have a showroom though if it's like 3%? Is it let me phrase my question. For people watching this, a lot of us are starting out or kind of middle. Do you recommend having a showroom like you, or is that just kind of something that happened and it worked out for you?
Well, there's a story. Do I recommend having a showroom? Absolutely not. If you are not retailing balloons or retailing product, a showroom is unnecessary.
Got it.
A 15 by 40-foot office space in front of your warehouse can do the same thing. You can fold the tables up and stack a 60, a 48, and a 36 along the wall and say that's the size of the table. You can have one stage table that shows, like, if you're going to get into like dishware and stuff, like you can see on this table, we have a centerpiece, and then I have like charger plates and dishware and stuff out. That's so people can see it. If they're planning a high-end wedding, they want to come and they want to play with the place setting. The 3 to 5% that walk in here spend $10,000 or more each. They are not
Holy moly.
my backyard party. They're the guy who walked in February and said, I just want to plan this graduation party now. You had great Google reviews. I came here so I could see this. I can't believe you have the exact size tent I want up inside your building. All right, here's $1,000. Great, perfect. I visually met his needs. But the mom who's coming here is coming to look at balloon colors, coming to look at linen colors. So my showroom is functional ideally for planners and or like actual event planners. Like event planners will come in, take pictures, stage things, send it to their client and bring me back an order. So if that is not your market, if your market is just tables and chairs, a couple of tents and backyard bounces, then you don't need a showroom. I functioned without a showroom until 4 years ago. I've had another retail store. And then Party City put a store up next to me. So they basically ran me out of business because I couldn't buy for less than they could sell for. So we just transitioned back into rentals and a warehouse space. But I functioned
Now
out
they're
of
out of business.
warehouses for years. And there is no reason you can't be in a warehouse situation and be super successful.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. So you've been doing this for what, like 30 years?
40.
I'm not 40?
I've been selling balloons and doing entertainment
40 years. Wow.
42 years.
Okay, 42 years. So you've been in this for 42 years. You're out of
Hard to imagine since I only look 20, right?
I know, right? I'm like trying to do the math. Amazing. I
I'm
guess
old and I started young and I'm old.
I guess this business keeps you young. Talk to me about the without revealing too much. I want to know two things. Approximately, like, how revenue wise, what are you guys doing? And then what percent of that is inflatables versus tents versus this stuff? Because I'm sure some people watching this are like, I'm going to go order plates and stuff right now because Stacy's doing well. But I kind of want to, first I want to see kind of where you at revenue wise, and then what percent of it does this stuff make up?
All right, so let's build a cake because that's how I'm going to explain it.
Okay.
When you have a party or you have an event, it's like baking a cake. The first thing you need is the structure. So that's either a building or a banquet hall or a tent. You need some place for the people to be.
When you're planning a party, you need a tent. You need
You
something.
need a
Okay.
structure. So you either need a tent or you need a house or you need a banquet hall. Okay. All of these things work. I don't own a banquet hall. I don't want to own one. I don't own their house. I do own tents. So I have a, let's say 1 in 3 chance that I'm going to catch that part of the cake. That's first. If you don't have that, you don't have a party. If you don't have a place for the people to go, you don't have a party.
Okay.
And now that they're there, they need to sit or they need to feel like it's pretty or whatever. But let's go with, if it's a tent, they're going to need tables and chairs. So my revenue, let's go with 40 to 60% on any given year is going to be tents, tables, and chairs based on weather, heat, seasonality of things. Obviously in COVID years, tents were much, much bigger for us. now that they're able to get back into banquet halls and stuff, we're not seeing the revenue of really large outdoor weddings anymore. So that has changed our dynamic on what that cost point is. But let's just say 40 to 50%. And when I say tents, it's tents, tables, and chairs, not just tents.
Right.
Extraneous, like my inflatable rentals are going to be between 13 and 25%, again, depending on like, do we get the Exxon Company picnic this year or is it in Indianapolis this year? I mean, that makes a huge difference. They spend 20 grand on inflatables. That makes a big
Wow.
difference in my bottom line on inflatable dollars.
Do you not do like backyard inflatables?
We do a ton of backyard inflatables, but it is not our primary inflatable market. Only because there is plenty of people in this area that have a lower, more focused price point for that. Partly because, Event Hawk is around here and they teach everybody how to do everything. So those backyard warriors are doing an amazing job filling that niche. And oftentimes, honestly, I'm just fine. My ideal customer is the customer who wants to bake the cake. The next thing, so you need your basis, you need your cake. Then you're going to do the next level, which is entertainment. Entertainment is where, even though it's like face painting, balloons, that kind of stuff, entertainment is where bounce houses fall for me. They are a rental piece, but they are technically an entertainment component. So that's like your icing. Okay. And that happens whether it's a face painter, balloon artist, a bounce house, carnival games. Your icing is all the things that make the party fun, the things that are interactive that make the party fun. So that portion of my revenue is probably where I would put that 25 to 30% on that portion of my revenue. I do have to put Santas out as an exception on that. Even though they're entertainment, Santas are easily a good 3 to 5% on their own of my revenue.
Santa, where you subcontract Santas and send them out around Christmas time. Gotcha.
They are their own niche for me. So that makes the other 3 to 5%. And then about 13% is decorative. So that decorative includes balloons, plates, cups, napkins, linens, Juji cake stands, little board, some flowery thing on the table. Yard cards fall into decorative. So that's kind of how it breaks out. So I make, a chunk of money on the structure, which is the basis of the party. I make a good amount of money on the entertainment, which is the icing, but then the sprinkles and the candles, that's all the extra stuff. So if you don't want to deal with getting that last 13% or whatever, then don't even worry about it. Like, there are other people I'm really big on vendor partners. There are other people you can have as your vendor partner that will do that with you, for you. And then you can examine, well, gosh, I sent like 800 referrals to the balloon girl. Maybe I should do balloons.
Should do balloons. I want to circle back to vendors because you do that well. By the way, Stacie is in my market. We don't really overlap much, but I'm that guy. I'm the guy that's doing mainly the bounce houses, and she's doing the huge stuff. And my wife and I are always like, oh man, Stacie would love this. We're like, So most of your business is,
but that's when you refer me as a vendor partner, and we're all good.
Most of your business is those tents and stuff. And so here's where it's interesting.
Tables, chairs. That's the same category for me.
Are you okay? Let me see how I can put this, because I'm a big fan of, I think you have to be clear on what you want in your business before you start, right? And I see two ways to do it. You can either go deep into one thing, like you just be the bounce house specialist. That's me. Or you can go wide, like yourself, where you're going into a lot of other things and you're covering in everything at the party. And eventually you could go deep and wide, which is what you're doing. When we talk about tents, tables, chairs, for people to do well, do you think they need anything outside of the general stuff? Or I saw you have like Chiavari chairs and all that. When I see that, I get intimidated. I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to be like State. I just want the basics. How important is it for you when you talk about, by the way, I love the cake analogy. How important is it for you to have a little bit of everything, really? Like, no wonder you have 2 warehouses. You got you need so many different, 3. Oh my God. Yeah.
He has his own. Don't forget, my husband has his own space.
So how do you expand into tents, tables, chairs? Like, my team is they're like, Tariq, we need to buy round tables. I'm like, no, we don't. I know everybody, they're like, we're losing so many orders. like not this year, like slowly, one thing at a time. But how do you know? You strike me as, I feel bad for Steve because you probably, every time somebody calls and you don't have something, you're buying it. Like, how do you know? That's my question, I guess. Where do you stop buying things that customers ask for? Where do you
Rule
stop
of 10.
expanding?
Rule of 10. So your first step is to identify, have you gotten 10 phone calls for that? Have you gotten 10 phone calls for roundtables?
Yeah. Well, and how long? 10 in a year or 10 in a month? What's
10
the
in your season, 10 in a year. 10 in a year is probably slim. Like 10 in a relatively, like say 3 months.
okay. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I charge more for my roundtables. They take up more space, but they are the number one rented table. My suggestion to Tariq is to get fold in half roundtables because you have fold in half 6
They're
foot
so
tables
expensive. They're like $200.
and they
I
will
can't.
pay for themselves like
What
that.
do you charge for round two?
I charge 15 for fold in halves.
Yeah, still like that's
12 for regular rounds, 15 for fold in halves.
yeah. Well, still, it's gonna take me more than 10 rentals to pay for that.
So charge 20 because it's a convenience item. And then you add your linen on top of it, and your linen is $15 to $20, which you're making half of. So you now have made a $30 item.
How do you
Start with 6, Tariq. Start with 6. They'll rent
rule
out constantly.
of tens. All right. Now let's talk about this. So
Well, I wasn't done. Rule of 10 is how
yeah.
you decide if you should look at buying something. Okay. And then
Uh-oh.
is there another tent that they can take that's not that order? And see if the Julie cleared. Sorry about that. We were running today. We have 4 crews out. We're trying to
Thank you for taking the time. I know it's a busy
so
day.
rule of 10 is how I decide if I want to look at buying something. Also price, like, can I divide that by 10, like you said, and rent it for the price to recoup it? So now I've been asked for it 10 times. What do I have to sell it at to make its money? Because I'm going to gamble that I'm going to get asked for it 10 more times. So like today I sat and looked at a product that draws caricatures from a photo. It's $2,600. Would be great for holiday parties. Alternative to a photo booth. It's a laptop and a machine. It's $2,600. But I would market it for $600 a shot. So it would pay for itself in less than 10 rentals. I can pre-market it before Christmas. I can decide if I actually want to purchase it or not by testing my market. So you can do the option of like, do I want this Lego bounce house? You talk about this all the time. Put it on, but leave it out of stock. It's always booked until you know that you have a demand for it. And then you can say, then you can with knowledge purchase something. So if your market's constantly asking for table covers, you should probably figure out who is your vendor partner for table covers. Do not ever own your own linens. Just whoever is listening, do not ever own your own linens. Don't buy them. They're cheap. People are terrible. They don't care about things. You will have them stained the first time you use them. You will be doing laundry. I hate laundry and dishes. I will not do laundry and dishes.
For your
So if
customers
you're
too.
going to buy
You don't even
them,
do
just
laundry
plan on
dishes for
throwing them
yourself.
away.
Yeah. Shout out to you, by the way. I'm very quick a little bit. It's about you, not me, but I kind of made the mistake of expanding too fast, which is why I ask you. I got into photo booths, movie screens. I did it all, and then I realized it made me hate my business. It took me away from I was not happy. I was miserable, and I had to be on every single job. So I got rid of everything except inflatables. And now we're slowly we added tents back again. This year we added dunk tanks. Every year we're adding one thing. Yes, thanks to you. But one thing that I never thought one thing that I did and I regretted was we got linens. We regretted it instantly, got rid of them. But then now I want to talk a little bit about vendors. You actually got me on, and I don't know if everybody has this opportunity, but you got me on a company that's local to us that actually delivers linens to us a couple days before the event, and then we just bring them back and they pick them back up, and we just mark them up, and it is phenomenal. We don't have to keep them in stock. We can
And
offer.
you don't have to do laundry.
We don't have to do anything. We can offer 50 different colors, and the customer, as long as they book more than like 2 weeks in advance, then we'll put the order in, even a week. Yeah, they'll deliver it, and we'll say, hey, we have your color. We deliver it with the bounce house, and when they're done, or with the tent, they'll just throw it in a bag, and then we bring it back, and they pick it up, and they do everything. Is that something that you recommend across the country? Do you think there's companies like that all over, or are we just lucky here in our market?
We are lucky in our market that we have a couple of local places that will do it, but there are nationwide services like Choice Linens and a few others that will ship them to you and then you ship them back.
Hmm.
So if you are in an area that is underserved on linens, and most anybody is not underserved on linens because almost everywhere you just have to know where to look. For black and white and ivory linens, every hotel everywhere orders from a linen supplier. All you got to do is figure out
Ah,
who their linen supplier is. Hi,
that's
Hilton. Who do
smart.
you get your linens from? You might not be able to offer 23 colors, or you might have to really mark up the colors because you're shipping them in. But my number one most ordered color is white, followed by black. I could offer black and white linens and probably get rid of all the other colors and it wouldn't be a big deal.
So you've grown your business by, I'm just going to go back to the ice, to the cake analogy. You've grown your business by saying, hey, I'm not a bounce house company. I'm not a party rental company. I want the whole package. And now you're not missing out on anything. You're kind of asking yourself, hey, they need a structure, they need a chair, they need an inflatable, and you're just kind of adding on that way.
Don't
That's
use the 10 by 20 top that they have pulled. They need to use a solid 10 by 20 top, not the split that they just found.
look at
Sorry.
her go. Look at her go. Look at her go.
No, the same vehicle's fine. Leave everything else in because we're going to find that top. So just add that to the vehicle.
This interview would have never happened if we had to steal Stacy for a little bit, so we're totally okay with you with the interruptions.
Okay, so go backwards just a little bit because we talked about linens and then I lost focus
No,
for like
yeah, no, just the. I guess this is where me and you just disagree, and that's okay. And I think that's important to know that there's not just one way to do things. You are all about like, hey, I want everything that I'm gonna do the Santa, I'm gonna do the linens, I'm gonna do the photo booth, and I'm like, hey, I'm okay with just doing what I like to do. But then again, I have other investments, right? I have Event Hawk, I have other things that I do. So
so
we're
you're wide just in a different way. Your
in a
your
different.
stool has other legs.
Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about the stool analogy. I love that one as well. Go ahead.
So you never want to have less than a 3-legged stool or you won't stand up. You can have an 8-legged stool, super sturdy, but you don't want to have less than a 3-legged stool. So, and this has been, taught and talked about by multiple of us in the industry, but I was taught it by actually a neurologist of all strange things.
Hmm.
But and it was in the realm of therapeutics and stuff like that. But for us as a business, and this happened, during COVID, that wide helped me. If I wasn't wide during COVID, I was
Mhm.
dead.
Right.
So, because costume characters weren't doing anything, face painting and balloons weren't doing anything, Santa wasn't doing anything, that entire entertainment division, I mean, we're talking a couple $100,000 was just gone down the drain. Not even thought about because you couldn't interact with people. Pause.
I'm not gonna pause the recording because if I do, I'll forget to hit record again.
No, we're good. That's
We're
fine. They
just
can
gonna
just
keep it.
explain to the client what's going on. And like go ahead and build it and then we'll come back with the top. Just have them explain to the client. So um so that was gone. If that was all I did, if all I was an entertainment company, I was lost at that juncture. If all I was a bouncy house company, it took a minute. It took a minute for bounces to become a thing in COVID. It didn't happen right away.
Right.
And then everybody wanted to bounce, which I totally, which totally was smart. But, if you weren't already established or didn't know what you were doing, didn't have your legs underneath you, it wasn't the time to be beginning a bounce house company. It was time to be like focusing your bounce house company. But I did have tents and everybody needed a tent because
That's
they needed a
crazy.
house, they needed a place, they needed a gathering
They were
that would
renting
allow
them
airflow
for
and would
weeks at a
allow
time.
people.
Crazy time.
So if I'm going rentals, entertainment, decor, it
So
was my
three-legged
rental.
stool. What's three-legged stool? Like offer three different things, like
Well, I
inflatables,
had 3
tents,
divisions. So I had
three
rentals
divisions.
here, I had entertainment here, and I had decor here. Well, decor picked up a little for like front yard, like birthday celebrations, but it wasn't much, it wasn't, it was a pivot. It wasn't corporate clients doing decor for their picnics. It was, I need a birthday party pool for my kid, So 2 of my 3 legs just gone. If I didn't have 3 legs during COVID, I wouldn't have survived.
So you're saying pretty much like diversify
Well,
is what you're
that
saying.
is what helped me.
Okay.
But if you looked at it, you can look at it like, okay, is it just bounces or do I have bounces, water slides, and obstacle courses? Like if you're just starting and you just got a bounce or a bounce slide combo, look at your next leg. Is your next leg slides? Is your next leg interactives? Like what do
It-
you add to expand how sturdy that stool is? If you have one pop-up 10 by 20 canopy and it's going out all the time and coming back damaged on the 5th use, should I look at a better tent? Should I look at a frame tent? Should I look at a cross cable tent? Should I invest a little more in that because this is working? I've tested the waters and I got this little bitty tent over here that's doing a lot of bit of work. Well, most everybody goes to the tent table 20 by 20 cross cable, easy to set up, solid product, used over and over again by many. Not by me, but by many. And only not by me because I started with a brand, I stuck with a brand. So if love your brand, you stick with it. But the concept of having a 20 by 20 tent, it is my second highest seller is a 20 by 20 tent. My first highest seller is a 15 by 15 tent.
Really? What do you use
Really
those for?
weird. Really weird. 2 years in a row, 15 by 15s, 15 by 20s, 15 by 30s. 15 wide has it fits your backyard market in a different way. They have long, thin yards versus big, wide yards.
I see.
So they go with 15 and it's consistently outselling my 20s. Well,
Interesting.
so then, my tents went from little to medium size to big. They went from white to white and clear, because the clear is fancy. Do I make a lot of money on clear tents? No, but when I make money on clear tents, I make a lot of money on clear tents. They sit and then they work and then they sit and then they work. So you can look at your 3-legged stool within one column, one thing. You can look at it broadly, to different divisions or different subjects or different industries. You have a great adjacent industry with Event Hawk, but I know behind the scenes you do other things that go high level that don't have anything to do with Event Hawk. So if suddenly the whole world said we can no longer have bouncy houses, you still have a leg.
Got it.
So think about like my recent discussion is I'm in my 50s. You could do a lot of stuff in 30 years. A lot of stuff. Like what can you do in the next 30 years? We've had this discussion the last couple of days with my husband and myself. It's like but the new measure is, do I want to be doing this at 70 and will it still make me money? I do not want to be doing this at 70, regardless of if it makes me money. Somebody else needs to take it or it goes away. This is not what I want to do at 70. But will I teach at 70? Damn straight. I'll teach all day long. Will I work on software? My back end product that I'm working on. Will I have that when I'm 70? Sure. That's great. It's easy. Put some pictures, do some things. It's all good. Different legs. But if you know where you're going or where you want to go with your business and you know somewhat what your timeline is, you decide, well, I'm in the thick of it now. New people, you're in the thick of it for 10 years, 5 years, whatever. You're in the thick of it. You're learning how to run a business.
Pause, hold up. Hey, if you're enjoying the podcast, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, do whatever you got to do down there. And if you know somebody who you think can benefit from this, please go ahead and share this with them. It's a lot of work doing all this for free, so it would help us if you went ahead and shared it. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to work with Event Hawk to get the results like these guys were getting, or if you just want some of our freebies, go ahead and comment the word podcast or text the word podcast to 708-401-6465. Again, that's 708-401-6465. And when you comment or text the word podcast, we'll send you all of the resources from this episode and other episodes for things like the Bounce House School book, how to book a call or book a demo with Event Hawk to see if we can help you with your party rental business, how to get 0% funding so you guys can buy more inventory and have a dirty warehouse like me, and how to get just our templates and all of our freebies. So with that, thank you again for watching. Back to the show.
And once you've kind of figured that out, you can go, oh gosh, now I know how to point a finger and make people go do worky things. And I've got the vehicles and I've got the insurance and I've got all the things. So I'm good. What would I like to, what do I really want to do? You
Mhm.
know? So over the last few years, my evolution hasn't been, my evolution as a business has, I can backtrack to that just a little bit, but my evolution in the last few years has been to try to combine all of my knowledge and assets to best help my client do everything. It's like, yes, everything in one place sounds very catchphrasy, but it's not that. It's about being able to take all the pictures. It's about being able to have a stress-free party. It's about being able to have a memory, not like anything else. So things should arrive early, they should be clean, they should go away. Do I have to perfect systems as I go? Sure, everybody does, you know, but making it to where there is always a smile. When you're walking into a party, people are so stressed out. I tell all my employees this,
Yeah.
they are stressed out. They are
Mhm.
planning, their driveway's been sealed, their garden's been replanted, they've ordered food from someplace, maybe they have a caterer, maybe they're cooking, the kids are driving them nuts, and they have to get all of this done by 3 o'clock so that they can smile. Our job is to not even be a blip on that radar. They need to point, and we do. And then they go, wow, that bounce house was so easy. I didn't
Easy.
even have to
I
think
love
twice
it.
about that tent. They came, they were pleasant, they set it up, they tore it down. Recent review was I was on my honeymoon for the wedding. I came back, the tent had disappeared, and it looks like there was never a tent there.
There you go.
That's what I want. I want them to not even have, they can be on their honeymoon and life moves on and they don't even know that it was different. So you talked about evolving linearly or deeply. So I started with entertainment and balloons, and then I followed my requests and I added onto that rentals. So we did get a bounce house from Spacewalk in Louisiana way, 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 way back when. I mean, they were the only game in town. So I had a bounce house, I had costume characters, I had entertainment. We did the Final Four, we did the Super Bowl. I was more of a coordinator of all sorts of things when I lived in Louisiana, and that was when Barney was the thing. Barney.
Barney.
Oh my
You got a
gosh,
Barney bounce
everybody
house
wanted
now.
him. So it's like, okay, everyone wanted him, so we had to add costumes. And then it was costumes and face painting and balloons, and then it was Papa Shot games, and then we finally gave in and got an inflatable, and
But
all
here,
through
okay.
that,
But you must have a lot of stuff that just sits in your warehouse.
it's owned. What does it matter if it sits?
It's taking up space, like
Some of my
stuff that you
stuff won't
got and
rent.
doesn't
Some of
get.
my stuff won't rent for 2 years, and it'll rent like crazy for 3 years.
And you're okay with that? You're okay with something
I
going out
own
like
it. I'm
this
not
once
paying on it, so it's not hurting me.
and you have the
My rule
space?
of thumb is if I'm marketing it and it's not working, great. If I'm not marketing it and it's not working, that's my bad.
God. What's one thing that you regret or wish that you knew sooner?
Not getting into tents sooner.
Not getting into 10 sooner, really.
I moved to Illinois, bought 5 inflatables from a company that is now a different name out of Europe, and those are the best 5 inflatables I've ever owned in my life. They all still work. They're great. They're rock tough and not too heavy, and they're just really, really good units. Still have all 5 of them. So, and that is 26 years old and still
Wow.
working and still look good. Everybody's like, you have a 26-year-old bounce house? My kids aren't even 26 years old, for God's sakes. Tariq's not even 26 years old. Um, so, and I could be a little wrong on that math, but it's pretty close. 1998, what's that math? 26 years.
28, 27, yeah. So
Yeah.
what does tense have to do with it?
I said no to tents for years.
Ah, I
I
see.
said no to tents for 12 years.
Mm.
No, I don't have a tent. No, I can't help you with the tent. No, I don't have tables and chairs. No, I can't help you with that. I can just do a bounce house. I can
Now,
do a cotton candy machine.
before we
I
go
can
on,
do a snow cone machine.
why didn't you want to get into tents and tables and
I
chairs?
was scared. I was
Scared.
scared of
Okay.
them. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that. That's a
Huge.
lot of
Yeah.
parts. Those
A
are
lot
a
of
lot of
parts.
things.
Yeah.
I don't want to do, that's a lot of labor. Oh my God. I was so wrong.
Okay.
There is not a bounce house leaving this building today.
All tents.
9 tenths plus are leaving this building today.
And
12
it's
table and chair,
it's a,
12
it's a
table and
it's
chair,
a
12
Thursday.
table and chair deliveries with no tent are leaving this building today.
People talk about weekday work a lot. Has tents helped you get more weekday? Because today's a Thursday and you're talking about
I
nine
just
tents.
schedule, I just schedule. I mean, the tents for Saturday, we're pushing it out today. I just schedule
Same.
them
Yeah.
for all the in-between days because somebody wants a bounce house on Saturday. I'm not delivering that early unless I just feel like I like them, and I might deliver my bounces early and I leave them overnight and pick them up later and all the same things that everybody does. But ideally, I'm doing the bounce with the tent anyway. So I'm going to deliver a tent with a bounce house and tables and chairs and a snow cone machine or whatever. So, truth be told, I really wish I had made that decision sooner because there was a lot of lost revenue from me just saying,
Yeah.
no, I don't have tents. And then I finally got two 20 by 20 tents. I traded them for a Buzz Lightyear bounce house that used to have sound and lights. It
Oh
was really cool.
wow.
I think it was Magic Jump who made them for a while. It was really cool. And it wasn't Buzz Lightyear, of course, it was the astronaut Sailor Man or whatever it was.
Gotcha.
But it had a speaker system and it would light up. And I traded
That's
that
cool.
to a partner for two tents. And
Wow.
and they were
That's a good
not
deal.
even the good kind of tents that I like to work with now. They were kind of the old school tile West Coast frame tents. And I wish I had done it sooner, many, many times sooner. I am on the Zoom. We're cone of silence right now.
Let's talk about, so you've done pretty well. How has Vet Hawk contributed to your success?
They got great pink shirts. I
You've been with
remember
us,
sitting
you've been with
in,
us what? Like you were from the first year when you first launched. I
I
think
was
you and I
early
met.
adopter. I sat with you on your second or third introductory webinar. I was in a hyperbaric chamber with my daughter Olivia, listening to your
Really?
presentation. And
Wow.
at that point, your introductory special was $49 for I think 3 months, and
Oh
then
wow.
it
Yeah,
went up
that was a
after that or
long, you
whatever.
were definitely year one.
Yeah, I think it was your second or third like introductory
So
webinar.
you've seen Event Hawk like change a ton.
Oh
You've
yeah,
seen.
like incredibly. But the concept made such sense at even when you guys were itty bitty, even when you didn't have all the features, even when you didn't have all the things. All you had to say was social media all in one spot so that when people can contact you at Google and Facebook and elsewhere, it all funnels to one place where I can answer them from one place. It was like, okay, that solved a problem for me. That it's always about how does it solve a problem? And that solved a big problem for me at that time because I was checking here and checking there and checking here and checking there and responding here and responding there and losing track of the conversations. I mean, it's a CRM to some extent, but at the same time, a lot of the data, like you didn't have the quick answers. Okay, well, everybody asked me, can I rent a helium tank? That was my most popular quick answer.
You use
You know,
templates.
there's education that goes with the answer. So they need to have like more than just like a yes or a no. It's like, yes, but no. Like I can if you're blowing up more than 425 balloons. But here's what you need to know about helium versus us filling helium versus buying the little stupid tanks that are 60/40. Don't ever buy those tanks. I give them like information so they can make an educated decision as a consumer. And most of the time I turn them into then clients because if they're only blowing up 50 balloons, I'm like, bring them to us. We'll blow them up for you. Don't go buy one of those tanks. They lie to you. It does not blow up
Listen,
50.
you need to teach you, Stacy. This is a promise. Stacy's gonna host a class at her place one day. We're all gonna go there and learn all about bullet.
Oh
She's
yeah,
got
I got
so
plenty
much
of
to
space.
teach. She's got so much to teach. We got to set that up one day. But what I specifically want you to share is because a lot of people are like, oh, Event Hawk can't help me, or oh, I don't need this or whatever. But here you are. You've been in the business. When you started with us, you were already successful. You're already doing well, and you still saw value. I want you to talk a little bit about that. Like, what kind of value did Event Hawk add to an already do a business that's already doing well, and how what kind of impact did that have?
Well, I had Pure Chat too, and then you guys had the little chat bot and the pop-up. So I was like, okay, I can get rid of this thing and I can add this thing and I can have instant answers. It'll track my clients, et cetera, et cetera. I used Event Hawk. I mean, we used it constantly before we got Inflatable Office. I had ERS before Inflatable Office. Um, and this is where I think my value statement for Event Hawk stands. I have Inflatable Office. I know how to make Inflatable Office do many of the things that Event Hawk does, but it's not as easy. I have a
Mm.
team at Event Hawk that I message and say, hey, I want this to happen. And they go, okay. And like 2 days later, it happens.
Wow.
Or I get a
What a
message
great
saying, are you
testimony.
sure? Did you need to do this? Did you think about this? Like I said, I want my birthday club set up, and this is how I want it to work. That's not the normal one. Okay, I don't care that it's not the normal one. I want it to go this way. Okay, Stacy, we made that happen for you. Now you can have 5 people in the birthday club and not just 2 people in the birthday club.
So the value or part of the value that you see in Event Hawk is you have, is that finger for me? Are you shushing me? She's shushing me, guys.
I called an emergency locate on the Julie that they're at. Is that Gerzak? They're there. It will be there by 11:02. Well, then Julie is late. You need to call 811 and find out where they are. Give them the address and the dig ticket number that's in the computer and say this has not been marked. And my people were supposed to be there 2 hours ago. It was supposed to clear at 11:02. Matt, they build the tent and they send a picture to him by text and say, is this where you want it? He's marked. Best guess, don't lift it till they send him a picture and find out where it's at. There's, you call 811 for Julie. Build it, and is it built? Is it ready to lift? They build it, they take a lunch break, and we find until we hear from Julie. You got to call Julie and find out what they say. Okay. And that's when you answer all the questions.
That's
So my
well,
value statement for Event Hawk is the fact that
hold on. What you were just talking about was that's the downside of owning tents, though. For to be fair, it is more complicated than bounce houses. You have to call, you call Julie for your bounce houses?
no.
No. So Julie, it's 811. I think it's across the whole country, right? 811?
811 in Illinois, 611 some other places, I think, but every
Basically,
state's got it.
they'll go out and they'll mark the gas lines that are underground, the water lines, power lines, so that because the stakes for the tents are so much larger, so you have to do that. You can't do like if somebody books a last minute tent for tomorrow, you can't use stakes. You have to use water barrels or concrete or whatever. So it is more liability with tents. So that's what you have to deal with that you guys don't have to deal with if you're in bounce houses. But back to
Well,
Event Hawk.
backstory on this, I called the emergency locate 2 hours ago. It was supposed to be done at 11:02.
I didn't know there's such thing as emergency. We have to call like 4 days in advance. You
Well, we
pay
call
extra
4
for
days
that?
in advance, but it give you a date and time that it's supposed to be finished. This was supposed to be finished yesterday.
Okay.
I called today and said, it's not finished. I need it. And they give you a 2-hour emergency locate. That was supposed to clear at 11:02. So they are late for their emergency locate.
I see.
I wish I could get my money on labor from Julie because this, I mean, they should be descending upon that house like immediately.
Okay, so what I heard you say is one of the things that you value with Event Hawk is that you see Event Hawk as not just a marketing company, not just a CRM. You see it as, hey, I have a marketing team for my party rental business that I don't have to pay, full time, and for just a little bit of money. You have a whole team behind you for when you want complicated things done or when you want marketing. You can just pick up the phone or shoot a text, and it gets done by a team of professionals. Is that?
Yeah. So this is why I stay here is because, basically, it's not just for me about like, literally you're like family,
Aw.
I got on the day and they noticed I had my hairs did and, talked to me for a few minutes and caught up with me. And, there's a relationship there that goes just a step beyond like, I paid you $650 this month. So, but it is a very good thing to have because not everybody has the years in business, has the knowledge in business, has the ability to do these things. Watch the classes. I mean, okay, Event Hawk isn't just Event Hawk. Event Hawk is like an entire learning system. You don't want to pay you guys to go do your Google ads? Guess what? Tariq made a video or 7 about how to do your Google ads.
That's more
okay.
accurate.
Free knowledge is just use it. Like make your decision. Is it worth my time or my money? It's always about time or money.
Time or money.
You don't have the money, put in the time. The team at Event Hawk puts product out to educate you on how to best use your time. Best use the product. I mean, without instructions, you can't do anything. Or you can go easy button and just say, just do it. And then the easy button happens. But if you don't have the easy button funds, you can start with the education funds and put your own time in. I've watched Event Hawk grow. I've watched Event Hawk repeatedly address issues over and over and over again. Get on top of trending things like foam and dunk tanks. I mean, you got a dunk tank, you taught everybody else how to do your dunk tank stuff. Did you have to do that? No. You didn't have to do that at all. You could just own a dunk tank. But instead you made videos and you shared it with everyone. You said easy peasy. Hopefully Twister Display is giving you a kickback because, I mean, we have 3 dunk tanks. We love them, but that's, we were already there.
I should ask.
So
I don't like to do kickbacks because I'm people. I don't ever want.
no, but
people
I'm just
to
saying,
think
like,
that-
you're totally like,
Yeah, yeah.
you've shown
Oh, thank
what
you.
was
No,
needed
thank you for
and you've
that.
educated people for them, and now people are more likely to participate.
Well, I have to address something though. We don't charge everybody $650. I'm not sure what.
No. I'm sorry. That was
Just
just a
so
number
people
out of
are
my
like,
head.
oh my God,
That was
they're
just
charging.
out of my head.
We have different packages, but that is, I think that's the benefit of that is an important value that you can't hire an in-house marketer when you're a small business. So it's nice to be able to hire a team and we make it affordable. So I like that you value that. Let's talk specifically about marketing. What is your secret sauce when it comes to marketing? How have you been growing? Is it a specific marketing channel? Is it what's your recommended what's your best marketing advice as far as digital marketing?
So, going back to marketing. So, I will tell you, there was a year that I turned off or tried to do my own Google ads. I lost over $200,000 that year.
200,000? Holy moly.
That was the year I didn't have Event Hawk helping me with my ads or somebody helping me with my ads. I mean, I had nobody. I was trying to do it on my own. I thought, oh, hey, I can do this. This isn't so hard. I know my business. I know what to do.
Wow.
I did know what to do, but I did it too broad. I didn't get the right words. I didn't let the thing catch itself. I mean, I didn't give it the 3 months. I was like, oh, gotta tweak this. I gotta tweak this. They're much better now because they kind of tell you things and they give you the AI things. But I mean, like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever I did that, significant dip in sales.
And let me ask you this. Why didn't you hire somebody that year? Were you trying to save money?
That was kind of in that like post-COVID weird era. And I don't know, I think it was just I thought it was going to be cost prohibitive to have either your team or whoever else I was talking to at the time do it.
So it cost you more to
But
not
it
do it than it
definitely
did
costs. And when I look back and I run the numbers,
That's
I'm like, what did
crazy.
I do different this year? And I'm like, oh, duh. I didn't pay somebody to help me with this.
So you'd say Google Ads is your number one marketing channel. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's probably brings in, yeah, but probably without the post-it note, brings in the most for me because it is, based on that. I have seen lately that there is a trending differently with the AI movement that's going on. So there is some stuff to be addressed there that I think everybody's still just figuring out because AI is now coming in above sponsored ads, above the 3-pack map. So just knowing if you're getting recognized or teaching the AI to recognize your website's going to be a super important part of the whole scheme of things, but it's not really anything you can do some stuff yourself, but you can't control that. You can't pay for that. You can't control that. You just have to know how to address that. So
It's
marketing
not entirely true. We're working on that. Just more coming down the line. But yeah,
I said it's evolving. So it's something
Yeah.
everybody's learning how to handle it, do it, whatever. But like I can't go say, hey, I'm gonna give you $30. Please put me first.
Right.
I can't do that. So I have to hope that I come in the very next logical spot. But I don't know, I don't pay too much attention to that because I get a call like once a month from Dean and we talk and I go, okay, make the changes, and then it happens and it's all good. So so I will say there is a definitive value in having Google Ads and running Google Ads and spending money on Google Ads. I mean, if anybody has not known that you do the pay per booking thing and do the math, like seriously do the math. Okay, I'll be honest. Watch what you're like. If you're paying, I've never done it, but say if you're paying $20 just to learn if that pay per booking is working out and you get 100, you get 10 at $20 and you spent the 200, but your Google ad campaign would have run you 250. Do the campaign. Take the safe bet, figure out if it's working, then go for the long haul, because the long haul is where it's going to be. You're going to train things, do things, get recognized better. But if you just want to know, does this work? You've got the ultimate way to show people that it works. It either works or it doesn't. You
Yeah,
pay or
we've
you
had
don't.
different markets. So we do offer pay per booking where, yeah, you don't pay a monthly fee. You only pay us if we get you bookings. And it's a great start for people.
There's
And they're
no
like,
safer bet. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
there's literally no safer bet than that.
we make it an offer just so good that you'd be crazy to say no. But in some cases, it's like, Facebook works better than Google. So that's why I'm kind of curious.
Oh,
Facebook
yeah. So
versus
we run the
Instagram.
Facebook
Facebook
ads.
you do the Facebook ads too? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how's that work for you for what you do?
The Facebook ads were targeted mostly to the balloon market and not mostly to the inflatable and rental market. The few times we have gone out with like a campaign, I've seen, results from the campaign, but the current focus for me was that market for me was balloons. It was not inflatables and tents.
What
So
about SEO? Do you do much with that? Is that important?
it is important, but it is not something that currently is more than me just touching it and letting Inflatable Office do the few things they do. It is definitely something that should be done and should be done regularly and should be examined regularly and should be done deeply. And things that do have SEO on them come up better for me. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't have time to spend every week going, okay, you know, so I have my 5 that are done and I have the 555 that are not done,
What are you
so
talking about? 5 and 5?
like my 5 things that have good SEO, and I have 555 things that don't have any
Pages.
SEO. They just
Yeah.
have their name on a page, so I'm not going to deep dive easels, for SEO. It's an easel. You either would need one or you don't. So, my bounces are SEO'd, my tents are SEO'd. They do their thing. In It's good, solid ROI, but it's a long-term game. Like your SEO is long-term. Your Google ads are going to bring you the money now. Your Facebook ads, my best advice there for me is very targeted. Like book this water slide or book this, buy this balloon, because they don't have the attention span to look at 6 things. You want something that hits and goes and they either grab it or they don't. Look at every other Facebook ad. This is on sale for $29.95 versus $59.95. Okay, I'll click on that to find out more. These 17 products are on sale for 30% off. I'm not going to click on that.
Gotcha. One thing. So I want to switch over to talk a little bit about like your sales tips, but last thing on marketing, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence about hiring a vet hawk or just doing any digital marketing where they're like, why pay for marketing when I can do it for free? Because every time I post about something in one of the groups about like, oh, Google Ads is like, oh, I've never spent money on marketing and I've been in business for blah blah blah. So what's your advice for somebody who's never done digital marketing or they're waiting for the right moment?
Time versus money. How much time is it take for you to learn how to do the product, perfect the marketing aspect of it, understand how marketing works psychologically, make sure your pictures are right, make sure your graphics are right, make sure everything is appropriately sized, get it on the media that you want it on, get it out the way you want it. How much time does that take you? Let's say it takes 4 hours on a good day. Let's say it takes 4 hours. How much do you pay yourself? You pay yourself $15 an hour? Great. That costs you $60. Guess what? I can send that to Fiverr for $8 and it's done. So even if you don't have the budget to have a marketing agency, you can get work off of you in other channels to help you with marketing. So assess time versus money to decide, okay, so it's going to cost me $100 a month for this service, and I'm going to spend 8 hours of my time doing it, and I'm not going to get as much out of it, and I don't have as much knowledge, and I don't psychologically know how that marketing works. And I have watched 17 courses that also took an hour each. Now, how far invested are you in this, or could you have just paid $99?
You're describing me. That's funny. When did you? So one more question, piggyback off that. You've been doing this for a long time. when did you involve marketing in your business? And did you notice, because like you've obviously got referral business and all that, when did you involve marketing and or digital marketing, and did you notice a big difference when you did?
I truly dove more into digital marketing during the COVID era.
Mm-hmm.
Between
So
my
recently.
ERS to IO time. I did some Facebook marketing before that, did some Google marketing before that, but really a lot of that was flyers, brochures, and mailers and, direct content. Once I got an easier to use system to track and manage and tag and niche market and understand my clients is when my digital era boom came as well.
So you did
Because if you
notice
can't if
a
you're
big
on paper and
increase.
pencil, you can't know what those 100 people need. Do they have
Right.
kids? Are they Santa worthy? Are they corporate? Like I use tags like crazy to sort and understand my clients so I can market directly based on that. But if you aren't doing that, you're just throwing the ball at the wall.
Are
But
you
once you
tagging?
have a system,
You're
once you have
tagging
a
them in
system,
yeah.
then you can be far more targeted. And you can go, well, 83% of my clients are backyard birthday parties. That's where I should be marketing to. I want more corporate clients. This is how I would market to them.
It makes a huge difference to tag them. Do you tag in, because IO now has tags? Do you tag in Event Hawk or Inflatable Office?
My systems work like this. Um, Everybody walking in the door is Event Hawk. Once they're through the door, they're Inflatable Office.
Uh,
Hang on 1 second. Pause the recording.
uh, all right.
But there's been an explosion of Facebook marketing, meta
Okay.
marketing.
Yeah, you were talking about your process. So they come in through Event
Oh,
Hawk and then IO, and then you do your
right.
tagging
So,
and
right. So my process, the way I look at my two systems and how they work together is I look at Event Hawk as the welcome committee.
mm,
This is where we answer questions. This is where we text. This is where we communicate with those people that are coming in from Facebook, coming in from Google, coming in from the chat bot, coming in just anywhere. They're coming in from the metaverse, the universe out here. Um, if they click directly on the contact form from Google or whatever, then they're coming into IO directly. But most of the time, my welcome team is over here in Event Hawk. They've gotten their few answers. They've gotten to the queue up system, like to whatever form I have in Event Hawk, and I have 983 forms. Just ask Lionel. He
holy
hates
moly.
all my forms. I don't have 983, but I have like 5 pages of forms. But I use those forms for all sorts of tracking. Like if you go on this form, you're tagged for Halloween. If you go on this form, you're tagged for Santa. If you go on this form, you're tagged for a free party. Like all my people that come in on those forms, I know who they were and I know how to market to them. So like when I run a Santa ad and they come in on that form, I know who they are, where they're from, and how they need to get remarketed because they're all on that, that tracking of that form. So that's my welcome team, my tracking system, etc. Once they get into a form, because Event Hawk marries with Inflatable Office, they wind up walking in. Now they're walked in. Now they've walked in the door. They're not just shopping. They're not just window shopping. They've walked in the door. And that's where my Inflatable Office takes over,
Mm,
follow up and stuff like that. So my systemology there is based on like, I have different times that things send out and different automations and stuff. So once I walk them in the door, I leave them into IO. I know that a lot of that can also happen and does also duplicately happen between Inflatable Office and in IO. So, I mean, Event Hawk. So, like when somebody gets a quote, they get my Event Hawk little rocket ship, sends off the little quote note. Says, by the way, you got a quote. So I double dipped. I've got them, they got their quote emailed over here. They got a text over here. We double dipped that. They can still ask questions here, but now they're on a follow through path on the other way. And that follow through path is like 3 days, 5 days, 7 days goes to holding, you know, checks in with them 2 months out, 1 month out, 1 week out. They have certain systemologies to manage those clients once they've walked through the door and I tag them. And one of my big things is interview your client when you're talking to them. And a lot of people don't like to talk to people. Okay, you're missing
mm.
out. You're missing out. I don't care if it's your Zoel that calls them or your digital VA that you've hired that calls them. You're missing out if you don't check in with your clients once, at least once verbally, because that's where you find out, oh, I've got 5 kids. Great. What months are their birthdays in? Because if you'd like, I can set you up to get a coupon for those months. And they get tagged January,
You
March.
do that? You take like that much time on these calls and
When I have a hot second, I do it as much as I
Wow.
can, because getting to know your client base, and then the other good helpful hint for you. It was in that folder. Okay, then I have to find it. I don't know. It was in that folder as far as I know. It was in the envelope. Or in the envelope underneath it. There was like a white envelope. Mm-hmm. I'll find it and put it in the truck so you don't have to wait. We do. Yep, I'll find it. I'll put it on the seat of the truck so you have it.
The life of a boss. Okay, we can go on forever and ever and ever, but I want to talk about four things because we're already over time, but we got to cover these four things. I'm super interested.
But I gotta give you one little nugget.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's a nugget. If you don't already incorporate something personal in your signature, your marketing, your Instagram page, whatever, like here's my cute little golden doodle. Once a week is, Josie the Wonder Dog. I support this foundation and this is what I did for this foundation. If you're not using not Instagram,
TikTok, Facebook,
LinkedIn.
Twitter. LinkedIn, really? You get business off of LinkedIn? Get the heck out of here.
I don't pay for ads, but I do put posts up there. People look at those posts for balloons and stuff. I get a corporate work off of LinkedIn. Corporate work is off LinkedIn, but the
I gotta
one
follow
thing.
you. What are you? Is it you personally or your business?
Just me. Yeah.
Okay.
I do it through Publisher when I publish all my posts out. So, but the point
Do you
of that
publish
is
it through you publish it through EventHawk or do you do it separately?
I either use Publer or EventHawk, depends on what I'm doing.
I've never thought to publish my bounce house business stuff on there because it's just like so
well,
people just find you.
Set up set up your EventHawk and set up your bounce my house. But
okay, we're
but
hold
the
on.
thing,
Okay, go ahead.
the nugget is something personal about yourself. People relate to you when you have your kids in the video. They relate to you. You're a family man. You have family values. Make sure as part of your marketing chasm, you have something, whether it's a group you support, a dog you have, kids you own, whatever. Make sure you have a little bit of person in there because they want to get to know this is how phone call goes at my office. Hi, I talked to Stacy. Is she available? Well, I can help you with your quote, but I talked to Stacy. Yes, you did. And Stacy talked to you, but now you're in my hands and I can get you all the answers you need. That's what Ben goes through every day. Ben has a migraine from people going, "Can I talk to Stacy?" No, but you can talk to me because I'm Stacy's guardian at the gate. So when people know, like, and trust you and understand and you give them a little bit about what you have, like what your world is, they become attached to you in a different manner. You're not just a business, you're also you're more whole. So that is my little nugget. Be sure to not just be a text. And if you are just a text, make sure you put occasional personal things like, this was my great employee this week, and this is his golden doodle. Put something fun and different and jazzy.
LinkedIn. Interesting. I don't feel too bad because we have so much to talk about, but Stacie is actually already one of our mentors. If you guys don't know, we have a mentors program. So if you text the word podcast or comment podcast on this, you'll see it up there. Stacie is one of the mentors you could talk to one-on-one. I don't know how much time she has, but I could talk
Tuesdays.
to
You can talk to me one-on-one on Tuesdays.
schedule a time with Stacie. You've got a wealth of knowledge. I want to talk about one really quick thing. Let's just touch on this real quick. How do I wasn't going to talk about this, but two systems. You said you have IO and EventHawk. Some people, they say, I love EventHawk. I know it's better, but I will not work with them because I want an all-in-one solution. How important to you is it to have an all-in-one, one-stop shop? And before you answer, I have actually learned the hard way after being at a job where they got everything from us. They got tents, tables, chairs, bounce houses. Honestly, I felt bad. I said, I wish they got it from 3 different people because we've been here for 2 whole days and we're still setting up and we're exhausted. And now we're doing a half-assed job. So in my head, I didn't say this to the customer, but I'm like, had they gotten a tent specialist and a bounce house specialist and a bathroom, whatever, then you would have got full effort from all those three. And that's kind of how I think about when I sign up, when I use, because I'm just like you, I use multiple systems in my business, and I get the best of this and the best of that. And I think about it like when you buy a car, when you buy a Mercedes, the brakes are not made by Mercedes, the tires are made by Michelin. You get the best of everything. But then there are people out there who say, no, I want to work with this solution because it's everything in one. And in my view, a lot of times when I get all in one, it's like you get half-ass all in one. They're not specialists at everything. Do you have that experience working with Inflatable Office and Event Hawk together, having two systems? Do you feel like you get the best of both worlds, or would you rather yeah, that's my question is clear. Going with like an all-in-one solution. Because some people are like, no, I need everything all in one. This doesn't, even though they integrate, they're like, no, I'd rather have something, even if it's not as good, it's all in one. It's easier for me.
Okay. So I could have dropped Event Hawk a long, long time ago. I haven't, because I have a team there that works with me and helps me and integrates with everything I do on the other side of the equation. If IO went down, I'd still have Event Hawk. That's my other leg.
So you have a, oh,
Everything
okay.
is in everything is in both
Everything is a
systems.
stool. I see. I never thought about that. So even
These guys cross each other. So if one day I don't have IO, or if one day I don't have Event Hawk,
still have a
I
backup.
have it's redundancy. It's redundancy of
Right.
systems. I've made it to where it has a pattern that fits my business. But if I had to make a decision, you know, I'd have to base it on the level of business somebody was at. There is far more marketing and comprehensive solutions in Event Hawk that you can't do easily in Inflatable Office. You can send a text, but you can't post a post. You know,
Right.
you can send an email, but you're going to be, dripping out, and, can you do it by tags? Yeah, but you have to create a filter. All I got to do is search one thing in Event Hawk, and then I can send an email based on that one thing. So it depends on how it works for you organically. But for me, they're like the power team. Let's use a real life example.
Mhm.
I'm working with the balloon people to bring Inflatable Office to them, but with balloons.
Mhm.
But the reason I'm bringing that to them is because the people in the balloon world have no business solution for running their business. They
Mhm.
have graphics that you send, and you do a text, and then you get a contract and you do it through Square, and they just don't have a concise all-in-one system. Inflatable Office is, for me, the business management of every day. I live in Inflatable Office to send contracts, get quotes done, review things that need Stacy, review things that are Christmas, review things that are like, I have funnels based on what it is. I live in that system. Okay. Because those are my clients that have already walked through the door. They are my repeat. This is my core. To bring them in, to make them happy, to
Mhm.
make them smile, that's marketing. That's on the Event Hawk side. That is where the magic happens to get them in the door.
And that's the
Okay.
main thing I wanted people to hear from you. You're successful. You've been doing this for a while. It's okay to have multiple systems in your business. In fact,
It
it's good.
is.
I never thought about what you just said actually. Like holy, like yeah. If what if Event Hawk does go down? You have IO. What if IO does go down? But if you do have an all-in-one, so God forbid any of those things happen, but it is good to have something as a
Well,
backup.
and
And
sometimes I take somebody from here and go backwards to Event Hawk because
yeah,
my answers are over there, or that system is.
right.
But the real world example is our friend Bill,
Hmm.
who was in high level in a different company, was
Hmm.
in a website with a different company, and needed business management software. He didn't walk in the door and say, I just want this, I just want Inflatable Office, or Event Office in their case. He's like, but I also need my high level to do something. And I said, well, welcome to Event Hawk. And let me tell
There
you,
you go.
these two things work together. So what I do is very similar to what he does, except for I have tents and stuff, and he just has a different, but like, it's not like he didn't come in and say, okay, that solves all my problems. It didn't solve all of his problems. He wanted
Glad to do
more.
some.
So it's like, well, here's the more. So yes, you can do this, and it does a lot. But if you can't, if you don't have the parade of colors or whatever you want to call it over here, how's it getting here? Is it getting here because just somebody randomly clicked on your Google ad that you set up yourself? Or are you getting, oh, hey, look at this, click this, fill out this form. Okay, all this good stuff in the form comes right over here. It's the magic. The magic happens.
I think, yeah, and that's really what I wanted to, because if
But it,
you have specialists and you have people that are the best, but some people will say, Tariq, I know you guys are the best at marketing, but I went with I went with someone else because it's all in one or whatever. And that's kind of what I want. And that's okay. There's no, even for anything, it is okay not to have all in one. And you just mentioned a great example of how all in one can backfire. So I think that's cool. Stacie,
well,
we're already, hold on. We're already out of time. I have a hard stop in 10 minutes. So I want to get through these three things. So we're going to do rapid fire. All right, rapid fire.
rapid fire.
Three things I want to talk about. I really want to talk about vendors because that's something I failed at for years and you're doing it well. I want to talk about off season and I want to talk about sales. So let's go with the quick one first. Off season. How do you get through off season? I know you're somebody that I look up to because you are in a cold market in Chicago where it gets negative, but you are busy 12 months out of the year. So really quickly, 60-second answer. What is your recommendation for somebody who is in a cold market to get through off season? Go.
Find out what you can rent to your market in the off season, because you are a bounce house company, but a bounce house company can have an indoor playland, and now bounce house company can have a snow globe. You can have the cute little penguin game from Leisure Activities that can go inside. Think about employee retention. Every HR company has employee retention. They have to do things once a month for their employees. Do your concession machines rent in December? They do if you get a hold of HR. So what do I rent in December? Why is December my second highest selling month?
Santa's.
Pipe and drape, throne chair, Santa's. Balloons.
Pipe and drape. There you go. Write that down. Take notes. Pipe and drape, Santa, throne chair, balloons.
Reference
Real
whatever
quick.
other talk I did where I talked extensively about it.
Yes, we did. We have other ones on. We did have a roundtable. We'll have to see how we can link that. Now, real quick though,
Like literally sub $1,000 investment, and you can turn that into a $650 rental over and over and over again.
This goes into vendors. Okay, I have failed at vendors my whole life. I have tried to get face painting. I want to be that one-stop shop, right? And yes, I do. I don't want in-house face painting and I want to do like you, but I failed at it. I've been in business 10 years and I always failed at it. And I told myself this lie that, oh, it just doesn't work in my market. But here you are, you're up the block for me and you're able to do it. What is the secret to getting partnerships and vendors where you can offer face painting, Santas, and all that without necessarily doing it yourself, and you affiliate with other people? How is it that you were able to do it in my same market and I wasn't? What are you doing right?
Well, I guess part of it is because my background is in entertainment, so I understand some of those entertainer type people on a different level, and I socialize with them through balloons on a different level, but that doesn't mean anybody can't do it. You are literally a Google search away from your vendor partners. Face
So
painting in New
you
Orleans.
find them, but then the scary part is, what if they don't show up? What if they do a bad job? Now they're affiliated with me. Do they wear my shirt when they go there? Do they get there and they have their logo? Like how do you talk to me logistic wise? How do you do all that?
Well, you first have to ask yourself the question of, do you care? Do you care if they hand out their cards, or do you want them to hand out yours? If you want them to hand out yours, you send them a packet in the mail and say, here are the cards you hand out at the event. And they have to do it. And if you find out they're not doing it, you just tell them, if I find out you're not handing out my cards, then I won't use you again.
What do you do? Do you care?
I honestly, most of my people are very respectful and they ask and they'll give away my QR. I just give them the QR code on the phone and say, show them this QR code to enter to win a free party. And then they send people my way. I have good long established vendors. Is it going to kill me if that face painter gets a $125 gig off of my gig? No, but a lot of times they take the person's information and then call me and say, hey, Joey needs a birthday party. So my people are established with me in that regard.
Good.
So it's a level of respect situation. And you should only be working with the people that offer that level of respect. You can give them your logo shirt, or you can tell them to work white label, which means there's no logos on their stuff. But is it going to kill? You're a bounce house company. Is it going to kill you if that person got a face painting job off of you? No. Further respect. If you want to use me for your bounce houses, I'll give you $25 every time you get one booked for one of your face painting parties. Oh my God. Now you have 100 other people that are potentially your clients that you don't know because they're talking to the face painter, and the face painter says, "Oh, you're getting a bounce? Have you figured out who you're getting that from? I work with Bounce My House, and they have bounce houses. I can give you their number." Because they're going to give them $25 or $15, or you just have a mutually, you know, and they set usually vendor rates with you. So if they market for 165, usually they're going to charge you like 135, 145. Talk about that up front.
So that's my next question. How much money do you make off these vendors? It's like, is it a percentage? Is it the same everywhere, or for everybody?
I make what I can charge my client. Okay, vendor relationships are like artwork.
So hold on. So I guess the issue that we had before is the guy's like, well, I want to make 150. So do I ask them to go down on their price so that we can charge 150, or do I say, okay, you're going to make 150 and I'm going to charge 200? Do you go up on their price, or do you go down and charge what they charge?
I love to have market price stay the same across the board. If somebody finds out that they had Jeremy and they really like
Yeah.
Jeremy and they went to go look for Jeremy and they see, oh, Jeremy's only 125, but he charged me 225.
Yeah, it's a problem.
So there's two ways to go with that. You can be fully transparent and say, I will book your entertainment and I'm taking a 20% commission. Like, you can tell your clients upfront, whatever your entertainment cost is, if it's $100, I'm charging you 120. I have a great network of people that all come at different price ranges. So depending on who's available for your date, it's going to be this and it's passed through. Or you can just mark it up, but you can tell them, I mark up these vendors, but I will find someone for you because I have a great network and relationship. You can do it either way. I personally love everybody to be the same front facing if possible, so that I'm not marketing something for 225 that somebody is charging 125 for, and later the client goes, well, I could have done that myself. Again, we're talking fractional amounts. What you're providing is a service. What you are doing by finding them a face painter, or finding them a balloon artist, or finding them a caricature artist is a service. Your time, your connection has value and is worth money. So even if you do markup, you shouldn't feel bad about it. If you got a corporate client that you know is never, ever going to look to see what Jeremy, where he came from and what his name is, mark it up all you want.
And then you collect the payment. They don't pay them. You collect it all.
No, you always collect the payment, and you always pay your vendor.
Okay, so what about quality and service? What if they don't show up? Well, that's my biggest thing. What if they don't show up? What if they do a bad job? What if they're late? That's going to reflect poorly on me. How do you make sure that doesn't happen? How do you vet them?
You can't 100% make sure it's not going to happen all the time, but if you consistently work with good people that have great reviews, or they're referred from other companies that you have established relationships, it won't. But you very clearly tell them, if you are running behind, you let me know so I can address it with the client. It's just like anything else. If your bounce house arrives late and you say, look, I'm going to give you a $25 gift certificate, I'm sorry we were 15 minutes late, you handle it the same way you handle any other situation. They don't show up, you have a list of people you can text at an instant that says, I have a face painter that got in a car accident, can you cover? Worst case, you refund it, because your whole party is not going to be that one face painter. You're not going to become the guy who just books face painting balloons. You're booking a face painter for a picnic. You're booking a face painter for a birthday party. They don't show up, I'll get you a carnival game out there in 25 minutes. I'll have something for you.
And you list them on your website, the face painters and all that. Like you say, hey,
just generically, generically.
Do you put prices up or no?
I have prices up because I know I can hire people within a range that can fit. So I might have one face painter that's one rate and one face painter that's another. It's up to me to decide if I want to take less on a job.
Got it. I have so many other questions. I learn so much every time we talk, but we gotta cut it short. Thank you so much, Stacie. This has been awesome. Thank you guys. If you guys want to hire Stacie or just talk to her one-on-one, comment podcast. The link will be there, and you guys can get with Stacie. I'm definitely going to be talking to Stacie, because maybe this is the year that I'll finally get the face painters on, because hey, why not? Let's add one more leg to the stool.
Well, I happen to know you know somebody who knows all those people.
There you go. Thank you again, Stacie. Have a good rest of your day. See you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Thank you again for watching the podcast. Thank you to our guest. Thank you to you guys for watching, for sharing. Don't forget, if you guys want the information and the links and resources mentioned in this episode, go ahead and comment podcast or text the word podcast to 708-401-6465. Again, that's 708-401-6465. And if you're interested in learning about Event Hawk services, we'll have a link there to schedule a free demo with us. No commitment. You don't have to commit. Just schedule a time with us and subscribe to this podcast. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys want to see more of, who you guys want me to interview next. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. I'm Tariq with Event Hawk. I'll see you on the next one.